This is a lesson on subtracting decimals. So the process for subtracting decimals is very much the same as adding decimals. The only difference is that you need to borrow sometimes in subtraction. So the first step, just like adding, is to write all of the numbers with the decimals aligned in one straight line up and down. And the reason is because we need all of the place values to match up, just as normal subtracting. So the ones are matched with the ones, the twos are matched with not the twos, the tens are matched with the tens, the hundreds are matched with the hundreds, and same with the other side of the decimal with the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths matching up with their respective parts. So once your decimals are all lined up, then step 2 is to write equivalent decimals. So that's filling the places with zeros that don't have for one of the numbers, if that is the case. That just makes for easier thought process when you're subtracting, especially when you're subtracting. With adding, it's not so important. Okay, then once you've got all of those zeros put in, if necessary, then you need to subtract each column of numbers, just like you would if there was no decimal. Just keep in mind that if the top number is smaller than the bottom number, then you're going to need to borrow from the digit to the left, so the digit that's smaller on the top, so that you can make that top number larger than the bottom number. Okay? And just please remember that this is how we always subtract. We practiced this in the beginning of the year, so you should be have no struggle with that once you see it again if you forget, which we'll see it in the example here. Okay, and then in the end, you have to make sure that you put a decimal in the answer as well, and it's going to go right underneath all of those other decimals, just like a button-up shirt. Okay, so they're all in a line up and down. So we've got two examples. We've got 52 and 07 minus 37 and 52. And we'll head over here and we will perform this. So you're going to have to follow along with me and write down the answers for the examples. So we write 52 and 07 right here because it's the larger number. 52 is larger than 34. And then we need to write this one. Now the decimal is right here in between the 4 and the 5. So it's going to be put right underneath here. And still one digit per column. So 4 is going under the 2. 3 is going under the 5. 5 going under the 0. And 2 going under the 7. Put our equal line in our subtraction sign. And now we can just subtract. So we have 7 and we need to remove 2 from it, leaving us with 5. We have 0 here and we need to take 5 away from it, but that's not possible because we have nothing. You can't take 5 away from nothing, remember? So this is the borrowing that I was talking about. So you need to cross off the number to the left. It goes down 1. So it had 2, so we subtract 1 from it, it is 1, and we put a 1 in front of this, and it turns into a 10. So 10 minus 5 turns into 5. We've got the decimal here. Then we've got 1, and we need to take 4 away from it, but that's not really possible. In fact, it's not possible at all. So we're going to borrow again. The 5 here becomes a 4, 1 lower, and we put a 1 in front of the number to the right. Now we have 11 minus 4, which is 7, and then 4 minus 3 is 1. So our answer is 15 and 5, 5. And there it is. Okay, now over here on example B, we're going to start the same way as write this is the larger number. It has a 7 as the tenths, and this has a 5, so that makes it larger. Notice this number is a lot smaller than A. Okay, and then, there should be a 0 here. Yours has that. There's a decimal here, so the decimal line's straight up. Then the number to the left is a 0, and the number to the right is a 5. And we can't forget that 4 right there. Now this is where we place zeros to fill in. So we put the 0 right over top of the 4 so that we remember that that's what's there is a 0. Okay, and that's important because we're going to have to borrow very quickly to turn that into a 10 because we cannot take 4 away from 0. So this 0 becomes 10. The 7 becomes a 6. Okay, we plunked 10 out of this one and placed it into here. Then we've got 10, subtract 4. That's possible, so that's a 6. Over here we've got 6, and we're subtracting 5 from it to get 1. Then we've got the decimal here, and a 0 at the front. So the difference between 0 and 7, subtract 0 and 5, 4 would be 0.16, or 0 and 1 6. You could say it either way. So now what you need to do is try the practice. There's borrowing in both cases, I believe. Yep, there's borrowing. So pause the video, and once you think you've got the answer, then play it and you'll see if you've got it right. Alright, so let's see how you did. The first one, we're going to write 3 and 2, 2. The decimal is going to go right underneath the other one. 2 is to the left. There's a 1 to the right and a 6 after it. So we're going to subtract those. We cannot take 6 away from 2, so 2 needs to borrow 1 from this other 2. This one turns into 1, this one turns into 12. Right, because it gives it, we put a 1 in front. And then 12, subtract 6, that is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. The decimal goes underneath all the other ones, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So 1 and 0, 6 is your answer. Okay, and the last one here. The larger number is 4.8. And it's nice with subtraction because they always have the number that you need on top in the first position. So it's easy to tell. Now the decimal here is right here underneath there. So to the right is a 1. I mean, to the left is a 1, sorry. To the right is a 4. And then we've got a 6 after that. So it's sort of like the other example where we need to add that 0 in after the 80, make an equivalent decimal, so that we can remember that we're taking 6 away from 0. It's not taking 6 away from blank space and it equals 6. That's where some of you might falter in your assignment. So 0 turns into 10 because we put a 1 in front of it. 8 turns into 7. So 10 minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. We put a 0 underneath, and then 4 minus 1 is 3. So there is our answer, 3 and 3, 4. Okay, so your assignment then is on this page, page 208 to 209, and it's number 2 to 6 and 8. Notice you're not doing number 1 because it asks you to do base 10 blocks, and I didn't show you how to do that. It's pretty confusing. All right, good luck.